Can you make a circle, please, while we're getting prepared for this special? There you are, all men, tradition, woodland, southern. If you're going to be in this traditional special, you can make a circle, please. All the Klein family members and friends, extended family, come assemble in front of the speaker stand, please. We're going to start this special with an honor song. Oh, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Oh, make some noise. Here we go. Good evening. I come to you in a humble way this evening. If I could have you young ones' attention, please. In this way of life here, sometimes we come to a point where we have to pay attention. And I'm not trying to, I come in a humble way. But if we could have your attention, because this way of life here comes to us from a warrior society. And this man we're honoring this evening is true to that warrior. My name is Walker Stonefish. I come from Waffle Island First Nations, and I was a machine gunner with 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. As a young man, and I deployed 3 times to the Middle East. So that's how I earned the right to speak in this circle here. As a young man, I come from Waffle Island in Ontario when I was in my adolescent years. I was in the Metro Detroit area. And this man, Jim Klein Sr., was one of those men, a Marine, who helped take care of this circle when I was a little boy. And over 50 years ago, when I was in Tiny Tots, he helped me as a young man. As a young, rough ruler, I looked up to those men, those Marines, in this way of life. The way they conducted themselves, the way they carried themselves and took care of their families. They were men. They went to work every day, pow out on the weekends, took care of their families. And as a little boy, I seen these men conduct themselves like that. Made new bells for me, dance sticks. In those days, you didn't get new outfits every 2-3 weeks. You wore the same stuff, just extended it. And that was way back in the 1900s. So the family here, we'd like to thank the powwow committee for giving them this time this afternoon for this special. This special was originally supposed to take place on Walpole in fall time, so it's not a memorial. Jimmy went home in October of this year. October. And the special was supposed to be to thank him for all he did for this circle, his family, and all of us. The way he conducted himself and took care of us. So the special was postponed and he passed away before they could do that. And the family was encouraged to go ahead and go through with this special. And that's what they're here to do this afternoon. And we'd like to thank all you gentlemen for being out here this afternoon and sharing your styles. We see people from all over the United States and Canada. And you young people, we'd like to say, make much for paying attention, because in this way of life, we have to take care of each other. And this man, he brought me into his family and a lot of other young men who needed help in different ways. And now these days, I'm a grandfather. Don't tell nobody I'm that old, but I'd just like to thank the family for sharing their dad, their grandpa, and their great-grandpa with me and this way of life. He lived this way of life. He was a northern traditional dancer, and I remember way back when he was a fancy dancer, correct? Yeah. And it's good to see Annette sitting here with him. These 2 young ladies, they traveled around with Jerry Cleveland Sr. and Jim Klein Sr. So it's good to see these young ladies here this afternoon. Thank you for being here, and thanks for letting me share in this special. I'm very honored. So what we're going to do, gentlemen, someone's going to We're going to have an honor song. We wanted you to stay out here. Ho-Chunk Jason is going to sing for these all these songs. What we're going to do once we get to the special, we're going to have three groups. And we're going to dance to one song. And 10 people are going to be picked out of those three groups. But before we get to that, we're going to honor this man and his family and this way of life, because he helped a lot of people in this circle. And thank you for your attention. And we're going to turn it over to his grandsons, Ho-Chunk Station, Hoka-Hey, for an honor song. If you can please rise in honor of this warrior. Semper Fi, Devil Dog. And we ask nobody to shake hands. Just come out and dance with the family. You gentlemen can dance outside the circle and dance to this song in honor of Jim Klein Sr., United States Marine Corps, Vietnam veteran. We ask that you don't shake hands. Just come out and dance with the family in honor of this way of life. What we do have here, we have 10 judges. Someone's going to go around and split everybody up. We're going to have 3 groups. The 10 judges know who they are. Nate Sr., Tony, CJ, Nishi, Lil Nate, Debbie, Wayne Silas, Juanita Cleveland, Gabe Cleveland, Ben Funmaker Jr. So our arena directors are going to go around and split this up into 3 groups. And what we're dancing for this afternoon, gentlemen, first place is 2,000 jacket, star quilt. Second place, 1,200 jacket. Third place, 800 jacket, star quilt. Fourth place is 600 jacket, star quilt. And then 4 consolation of $200. And also the family just added 7 spots for $50. So there's a total of 15 places in the Klein Senior Special. And like I said, this was supposed to happen in the fall time, so this is not a memorial. The memorial will take place later on in the year. What the family's doing is they're just following through with what they were going to do for their father, grandfather, husband, earlier. So what they just, people were encouraging them to go ahead and follow through and honor him, and that's what they're here to do this afternoon. The group 1 into the circle, please. And group 1 will have these 3 groups will have 1 song each, and out of each group they're going to pick 10. And then we're going to go to the top 30 from there. So with that, we're going to sing all the songs. Here we go, song number 1, group number 1. Hold on. Hope Jump Station. Dancers going to stay in place. And this will be our final 10. That'll take us to 30. And it's truly an honor to be able to speak for this special this afternoon and be up here with this family. And all these kids that are here, grandkids, they're up here with 4 generations and doing exactly what their father, grandfather, great-grandfather taught them to do. Living a good way and take care of your family and dance. All these kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, it's good to see them in these circles. And what an example this man made for this way of life. It's truly an honor for me, on behalf of myself and my family, to be a part of this special. So with this, the rest of you dancers come shake in. Let's give all these dancers a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful sight to be up here in Marquette, Michigan, with all these traditional dancers and all their style, bringing their style here to this gathering this weekend. And I can't emphasize enough what an honor and how humble and the family and just grateful to the community for letting them host this special for their father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. Later on this year, they'll have the first memorial, and there'll be stuff on Facebook and all that other social media to let you know where and when that is. So, but we'd like to thank all of you gentlemen for bringing your style here this afternoon. I'm trying to run my mouth a little bit to give this third group a minute, because what we're going to do now is we're going to station because we're going to have the top 30 go out in a minute. And from that 30, we have 15 judges, and they're going to pick one. That will take us to the top 15. And from the top 15, we have that's been made it to the winner's circle. So like I said, first place is $2,000 in gifts, second place is $1,200 in gifts, third is $800 in gifts, fourth is $600 in gifts, four constellation prizes of $200, and the remaining seven, $50. So the family is paying out 15 spots in honor of their father, grandfather, and great-grandfather in this way of life that is shared throughout Indian country. And it's good to see 18 and up. You see some older gentlemen out here who danced in a circle with Jim Klein Sr. And I'm sure they have lots of good old stories. So where we're at, we have our top 30. We have our top 30 in the circle. We have Ho Chunk ready to get down with the get down. And here we go. Turn them loose. Ho Chunk Station. Very much Hometown Station for all these songs. And here we go. We're getting to our top 15. Judges, you know what to do. Bring your dancer up here. Here we go. That's our top 15. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And the rest of you dancers. That's a lot of dancers. Big ups for coming here this afternoon and sharing your dance style with the family. It really makes them feel good. Uncle Jim, like I said, left in October, so the hurt is really still there. So he loved this way of life, raised his family in this way of life. Like I said, he was in Vietnam with the United States Marine Corps. One of the gentlemen that I looked up to, and one of the reasons why I myself joined the Marines. For a gentleman like him. And when I did come home, Jim shared with me a lot of protocol stuff, so I'm so grateful to Jim for doing that. So I knew how to conduct myself when I come into this circle as a veteran. Here we go. Hometown Station. Okay, second song, here we go, Boat Station. top 8. And those 8 will come over here. And the remaining 7 will be our consolation winners, but they're also receiving an envelope. So those top 8 go and get something to drink. There we go. Yeah, cheer them on, cheer them on. A lot of dancing. Oh. All right, we have our top 8. Go ahead and get a drink. Okay, let's give these 7 remaining dancers a round of applause. And they are receiving envelopes. Thank you for sharing your dance style and being a part of this Jim Klein Senior Men's Traditional Special. So what we're going to do from here, the top 8 are going to go back into the circle and dance one more song. And after that song, we need the top 8 to line up. And we'll pull off the top 4 who will dance one more song. And they are dancing for $2,000, $1,200, $800, and $600. So here we go. Top 8, take it away, Hope Truck Station.
that way. And the top 8 men's traditional special in the James Klein Senior Men's Traditional Special. Here at Keweenaw Bay Band of Lake Superior, Ojibwe 2025. What a celebration. So what we're going to do now, the grandsons are going to take our top 4. Those will be our finalists. And the remaining 4 will receive $200, a blanket, and some sweetgrass on behalf of the family. And we'd just like to say congrats for coming here this weekend and sharing your dance style with us. What a blessing to have all these different men's traditional dancers here with us. What we're going to do now is our top 4, dancing for $2,000, $1,200, $800, and $600 jackets and gifts. Here's one of our first finalists. Two, 3, and there's our top 4. All right, let's give these remaining 4 a round of applause, and they will receive $200, a blanket, and some sweetgrass, and a t-shirt. Thank you guys once again for sharing your dance style with us here. Make the family feel good. Like I said, Jim was a champion Northern men's traditional dancer. Traveled throughout Indian country. Good. Here we go, Hotel Station, top 4, Jim Klein special. Okay. face the other way. Wow. Beautiful. families getting together. And we're going to pick our fourth place winner. Fourth place winner is $600, a jacket and a star quilt. Fourth place, Richard Street. Let's give a round of applause. $600, a star quilt, a jacket. And this is our third place winner. Dwight Littlejohn, Rosa River, Manitoba, $800, a jacket, star quilt, some sweetgrass. Richard Street was from Fort Totten, North Dakota. And our second place winner of $1,200, a jacket, star quilt. Getting fancy. All right, Randall Jackson from White Mountain, Arizona, $1,200 with some gifts. So that means our champion, Malcolm Murphy. All right, let's give him a round of applause. And Debbie Klein is going to present the champion with the gifts, the matriarch of his family. Let's give him a round of applause, our champion. All of them. And once again, thank all you dancers for coming out here and sharing your style. Make the family feel good. If we could have Ho-Chunk Station come up, the family has some gifts for you. Ho-Chunk Station.
He also partook in Wounded Knee also. He was also went over there and fought for the people in Wounded Knee. He was over there. Okay, big thanks again to the powwow committee for allowing the family this time, and thank all you fine folks for helping us celebrate this fine gentleman, James Klein Sr., champion traditional dancer, and thank you. He's up here with his 4 generations of his family, and we'd just like to say big thanks again to you fine folks for letting us host this special. Back to the professionals. Oh,